Thank you. All right. So welcome back, everyone, to 1 Corinthians 13. Really excited for today's Community Sunday focus on 1 Corinthians 13. Let's get Death Razor in here. Good. Glad I got him coming in. So today we're going to be doing 3 things. So we're going to be hearing from Alice. She's going to be coming up and sharing a story because we talked a lot about religious trolls, and this is such an important conversation so that we can all protect ourselves from being misled into a faith that is based on fear and separation and division and it's just, so there's a particular thing that happened here in Rec Room, and Alice is going to come and share it. And after we hear her story, we're going to talk together a little bit using what real love, God's love, not our human love, but God's love looks like. So we're going to kind of dissect the story so we could see where things that the person who is doing or saying these things where they think it's from love, but how we could see that it's contrary from God's love. And that way we could better notice these things, not only when other people give us things that are contrary to love, but to help us, to stop us from giving to other people what we think is love, but is actually contrary to God's love. Because remember, our human love is very different, or it can be different in these different ways, because our human love is flawed, where God's love is perfect. So Alice, if you would like to start by sharing this story, that would be super cool. After that, we're going to talk together about some of the ways that we either love or receive love and in ways that are less than perfect. And then we're going to be playing a super cool game, which I'm very excited about. So, muchas gracias, Alice in the palace. Alice is in the palace.
Less of a story and more free stuff. So I don't know if you want to come up here and ask questions to help.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, to kind of okay.
Yeah, because I've got no script or anything, but yeah. So in Rec Room that we have, and on Discord, we've dealt with a lot of religious trolls, is the term that we've coined for people who are not necessarily normal trolls just looking to disrupt, but more people that have an agenda to kind of recruit people to their way of thinking. So I'm not going to name anybody's names here. We're going to make sure not to do that. And apart from Aaron over there, who's a bit of a pain. Yeah, but he's not necessarily involved with this. But yeah.
No.
So what do you want to know, my lovely?
All right. So to my memory, I actually wasn't there, but I was. You came to me because you were hurt. That's exactly it. You were very upset. You were hurt by what happened, and that's really important that we get that part of this already. That she was hurt. That whatever they were doing tore you down, made you suffer, brought you pain. And so we already know that God's perfect love doesn't tear us down, make us suffer, make us try and feel worse about ourselves. So that's the reason you came to me in the first place and spoke about this, because you were really, really hurt. This affected you. I believe. Well, she wasn't like, whoa, but she doesn't. I would have been if I were her. That's what I would have been. Anywho, bit dramatic. I believe you were at the RecCon booth.
Yeah, that's where it all kind of kicked off. Yeah, and I think.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yay. Thank you, Phantom.
So a lot of good things happened at RecCon, but one sort of bad thing, and well, you could call it bad, but it can be used for good, a bit like taxes.
We're using it for good. The taxes one. Good job.
So Alina wanted me to say that trolls are like taxes, but yeah. So it
and
all
then
kicked off around Retcon when we met a group of people that came up and didn't like something on my profile, and so decided it was their place to tell me what was acceptable and what wasn't, and um, start arguments about it, and then go to other people that I knew and tried to get them to remove me from certain positions, remove me from certain friend groups. Um, yeah, there's another pastor in here in Rec Room who had quite a few attackings from some of the people in this group verbally. And that's where it all kicked off. And it's been like a little bit of a roller coaster ever since. They haven't given up. Yeah.
One of the things, if correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't have the best of memory, but so correct me if I'm wrong. One of the things, I love you too, handsome man. Bye, love, my husband's going off to work. So one of the things, correct me if I'm wrong, um, I don't know if what was this exact words or the meaning behind the words that you were not worthy of God's love. That based on whatever they saw in your profile, that you were not worthy of God's love at all, and so much so that one of the things they did was to go to some of the other churches and demand that they kick you out, that they demand that you can no longer come to their churches. Is that correct?
It was less of no longer come and more you can't have moderator there and you shouldn't be around. There are some groups that I did get kicked from as well because of it, but none that I don't think any of the people here know about.
Okay.
But yeah, but the bigger one that I'm go to a lot was more like she shouldn't be a moderator there. She shouldn't have any influence over you as a person, which it, yeah, and we've acknowledged different beliefs and things, but yeah.
So not so
And
much because there's like these different levels. There's this different levels. Some
yeah,
people will
yeah,
say that if you don't agree to their way of thinking, that you can't come to church at all. And then there are other people that say if you don't believe in their way of thinking, you can't serve in any way. So like in this case, it
yeah.
was moderator, like you're
She
an
shouldn't be a
okay enough
moderator.
human being to come to church, I guess, but you shouldn't be able to help out. That's where
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
you are somehow worse than us, than the people
Anything
who are
else?
speaking, that
Yeah,
be standing, or anyone else, that you're somehow worse than anyone else
yeah,
and are not deserving of participating in God's ministry,
yeah,
in sharing the gospel. That
yeah.
you should be lowered in some way is
Mm-hmm.
is the
But no, but
meaning
yeah,
here.
they didn't use the words "you're not worthy of any love at all." They said that we are doing this because we love you, and
Yeah.
and that's more of the important thing, which is why it's linked to this, is because they said these things and went out of their way to do these things in the name of love. Um, and they said, and I've been called the word a reprobate before, which I wouldn't have even known what it is
I don't
unless
know.
you
I
look
don't
into.
even know what it means. So,
It's
what does that mean?
it's like too far gone. Basically, you're too far
Ah, too
gone.
far gone.
You're
Beyond
going
hope.
to hell.
Beyond your loss. Beyond
Yeah,
hope. You're
beyond
too far
hell.
gone.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I've
Got it.
been called that before. I've been,
Oh.
yeah, you know, there's been like
Oh.
certain threats made, which we won't go into because I think they're a bit extreme. And then ultimately, when I stopped talking to these people for a while afterwards, they said that one of these people said that I pray that you lose all your friends and that you lose all your family and that you lose everything. And I pray for you that you lose all your joy and all your happiness in the name of, and that's in the name of love, in the name of God. So,
In the name
In
of
the
God.
name
In the
of
name of
love.
God. Yes.
basically,
I
yes, God, yeah,
pray
that's what they said, which is,
that you lose all of your joy,
and so yeah,
all of
yeah,
your happiness, all of your friends, all of
yeah,
your everything,
That's lovely.
because you are too far gone, because you're beyond
yeah,
hope. It just breaks my heart. And we could see that when we're looking at what love is, we could see in her story so many different places where it is not just fitting within the confines of love, but actually working in opposition to it. And we see well, it's obviously unkind what's been done and said to you. It's funny because even this like patience theme, because as you said, that they just kept going and going no matter what, and they like couldn't get the reaction they wanted, or they couldn't, so they kept going and going. Boastful and proud, this is coming from a place of pride where when we elevate ourselves above other human beings, I'm great and worthy, you're too far gone. This is a place coming from a place of pride. Goes without question, rude, horribly rude. And it's very much demanding its own way. And we see over here in 5 where it says God's love does not demand its own way. And this very much is demanding its own way. Keeping records of being wrong, I would say that would count as well, because they're very much saying, oh, well, you do this, and so we're going to go and make sure everybody knows what you did, and it's on record everywhere we can go, so that the whole world, even though you didn't actually
we've
do
all been
anything
wrong,
in the
but
first
you're
place.
more wrong than anyone else.
Yeah, but you're more wrong than anyone else. Exactly. Rejoicing in injustice. So like the places where that their words held clout, and where you were rejected because of what they were trying to convince them to do, to reject you, they're surely are rejoicing in this injustice of you being kicked from these churches or servers or friend groups or whatever they all these different aspects. And then love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. You're beyond hope is what is told to you. You are too far gone. And if that is just like the absolute opposite of never giving up, never losing faith, always hopeful, and endures through every circumstances. And the reason why I think it's so important that we hear Alice's story and that we like dissect it with the truth of what real love looks like is we can do that with everything, right? We can do that when we're trying to understand scripture. Is it contrary to this? If so, we got to dig deeper. There's something we're missing here. If we could do that in the love we receive from others. This isn't about judging the love we receive from others, but it's about like, especially like people who are being abused, who really truly believe that they're being hit because their spouse, loved one loves them, that believe that they're being ridiculed and torn down with words because their spouse or loved one loves them. It's important to recognize that so you can protect yourself as well. And most importantly, it's so that we can learn to love better, so that we could see it in ourselves when because we all do it. I promise you, we all do it, and we do it way more often than we know. Break or oppose the love, like actually work against the love, not just not fitting in the confine, but being opposite or contrary to the love that God has asked us to live in. And so thank you, Alice, so much for being so brave to share this. One of the things you mentioned at the very beginning is sheet to script. Well, there you go. I'll have a seat too. How about that? How about that? One of the
chair thing, yeah.
Do the chair thing. You put them up here for a reason. Cute little hearts too, by the way. So one of the things you mentioned at the very beginning was that we aren't mentioning any names, no mentioning of any names. And this is so important because we don't want to step outside of the love that God has called us to live in order to share this story. If we were to do so, if we were to name names, all that would do is create more division. All that would do is make it, because we truly do want the people who come to try and divide us, the people who come to try and tear us down and to try and separate you from God's love. We want nothing but for them to feel God's perfect love, to live in that perfect love, and to really experience it, and to have that be their motivation in life, and the things they do and the words they say and the way they feel. And if we were to blah, 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 so-and-so did this and so did that, we would be working against God's love. Oh, okay, that's Red. Sorry if I keep leaving my Wi-Fi being strange again. Oh, no worries. I totally understand. I'm sorry your Wi-Fi's been so hard, Death Razor. But yes, so it's purposeful that no names are mentioned because we want what is good for them as well. And we're hoping that through most of everybody not knowing who it is, that your interactions with them will continue to be within the confines of love, that you don't hold whatever's happened in this situation with Alice against them. Remember, it doesn't keep records of being wrong. So if you don't know who they are, you're going to be more prone to love them well, and that's what we hope and want from everyone. So with that, shall we save the game for later, after the discussion, or should we do the game before the discussion? What do you think?
I think before, because then we can discuss what's on the hearts, maybe.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I love it. Will you let people know what we're doing here? Thank you.
So get rid of this collision, because that was help stopping them falling down. This net is going to open, and you can imagine these hearts are like little balloons, and they're all going to come down, and there's some words on them. And what we'd like everybody to do is kind of decide look at the heart and what it says, and decide whether that sounds like something that is love or something that isn't love, and you can pick them up and throw them into these areas, and it should make a sound that will tell you whether it's right or wrong. And okay, they left. I was going to say, please don't say that.
Yes, I was about to. Me too. And then away they went. All right. The game is on. Grab a heart.
That's it.
See where it belongs.
Grab the heart and throw it.
Toss it in.
Throw it.
Yeah.
Throw it. There you go.
What was that?
So,
oh, yeah.
You toss it in here like this.
Meta.
If it isn't, you throw it in here.
And then you toss it through. Yeah. Very meta. I love it.
Oh, okay.
There
we go.
I don't want to.
Come on, let's go, people. Let's go. Throw, let's go. Go.
Woo!
Alright, go. Come on.
Awesome.
Couple minutes left. Come on. Go.
You can do it. We should have put a timer.
Oh,
yeah.
it's got nothing on it.
Right,
Timer.
Uh-oh. You got a 50-50 shot of tossing that heart in the right one. I have no idea where the words went.
Come on. Aaron, come on.
Oh,
Aaron.
love apparently.
And then there's one special heart. Remember, Alice, the special heart that can be could fit into either one depending on your intentions.
I think.
Remember that?
I found something. Hold on, I found something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Among Us.
That means we're gonna get cold.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to Alice's little page over there.
Mr. Beast video.
Mr. Beast video.
Mm. Oh. Okay, do you mind telling them in the stream why that heart can be actually fit in either of those? Both of those?
So this one is what Cole made, and in the context of how it was made, he made it as just a joke among friends, which is a bit of fun. So that can be in the context of loving your friends and hanging out. But if somebody who really didn't like me as an Alice and had bad intentions behind it wrote that, then it would be outside the confines of love. So if somebody actually had bad intentions and said, oh, Alice means malice.
Awesome possum.
You're bad, yeah. This one depends on your intentions, whether it's a fun turnaround.
That's a great one.
And
it's basically being ironic and being not ironic.
Whether you're doing it to make someone laugh or
Irony explained.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So so the next thing I'd love to do, good job everybody playing, and it sounds like most of or all of those went into the right places, so fantastic job everyone. Yay. So the next thing I would like to do is have us talk amongst each other about love, ways that we think maybe now that we've gone through 1 Corinthians 13, maybe we've thought, oh, we've been doing it all wrong. And I'll start because I've been doing it all wrong. And it's not until I spent time in preparations for 1 Corinthians 13 did I realize it. Phantom is typing something, so I'm going to watch this so I don't miss it. Are you going to check our work? I know we don't have we are going to check your work. Thank you very much.
Some whiteboard
in a way. Yeah, we are going to check it in a way because so I'm going to share just something that I've been doing that's not that I thought was love, but it definitely wasn't God's love. But so as we share, if you are unsure of a good example or something from your life, please, by all means, dig around in those hearts and see if there's something that resonates with you. And you can go, oh, I've been doing this, and now I see that why I make that quiet. Sorry about that. Should have made it quiet in the first place. So my thing, and this is, it may seem trivial, but it's not. And I see that now. It's not. I am older and old school. I tried to not have a cell phone for the longest time until they took away all the payphones. And then I suddenly had to because I couldn't get to a payphone if I was in trouble, right? So I had to get a cell phone. Boo. And then the world turned into like messengers. Everybody messages each other. And I am a talker, if you haven't noticed. I am not a fan of messaging. I really don't care for it. I would much rather speak with you than to type slowly because I don't even know how to type. Words that never can actually portray what I'm really trying to say because without that voice, you miss so much. Oops. No. And this isn't to discourage anyone from messaging me at all. This is not what this is meant for. This is actually meant for me. This is where I go wrong. So a few years ago, my family started doing this family text thing. And every day I'd wake up and every day there would be 100 new messages. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to start the day with 100 new messages right here in this one little thing alone. And I told my family, and they know I love them because I really do love them. Like I said, I'm not going to really be active on the messaging because messaging isn't my thing. But I do try and make regular phone calls. Some of my family members aren't fans of phone calls, so we don't connect very often because I'm not a fan of Messenger. They're not a fan of phone calls, and then so we just kind of fall away. Wasn't until I started doing this that it just broke my heart how horribly I have been loving my family. I have been selfish because I don't like messaging, and because I just get like, oh my gosh, so many messages. How am I going to keep up with this? I wasn't loving them well. I was being self-seeking. I was being selfish. I was choosing not to do a thing I didn't want to do because it was hard for me instead of loving them in the way that they needed to be loved. And so I'm doing my very best to turn that around, and I'm making some progress, and it still might not be every day, but I'm going to start loving them with God's love and not my own. And that means pecking out those messages because, so that's one of the things I discovered. So thank you, Chitters. I encourage anyone who would like to share something like that to come on up and share it. If nobody has anything that they know offhand, by all means, come and dig around these hearts, find something that resonates you, whether it's something you do yourself or something you just want to go shine a light on. This is a really good, example. So I don't want to put everybody on the spot saying, do as I did and admit in a way that you've been doing it wrong. But also, please do if you're comfortable with that.
And you can only get on the stage if you're a host, so if you want some thrown to you, just let us know.
Oh yeah, because we could just be in front of the stage if, yeah. But just a quick example that came to mind was, I got married, and one of the things that you do a lot in marriage is drive places, especially when you're doing 2-hour drives to Disney World. And in that, I started to learn that, sometimes I would start being like, whenever my wife would drive, which isn't super often, I would backseat, or I'd think I was doing a loving action by saying, hey, there's a turn coming up in 15 minutes, or there's a turn coming up in 2 minutes, or there's a turn coming up, oh, you just passed the turn, even though the GPS says it. And I realize in retrospect, and also after many conversations, that there's a fine line between loving and nagging, because at some point you're telling the other person information they already know often. And when that happens, then you are communicating every time that they're incompetent, that they're not aware, that you don't trust them. And so being able to communicate, hey, was that nagging to you? And they can be like, yes or no. If yes, it's nagging, okay, in the future, do you not want me to mention it? And they'll be like, sure. And then even if they're about to miss the turn, because you agreed to not point out turns on the freeway, or not point out turns until they ask, then it's better to just let the person make the minor mistake and just live with the minor consequences than to go ahead and try to save the day in an unloving manner. So that was a big learning experience about this fine line between nagging and lovingly pointing out. Yeah.
That was a great one. Oh, that I think resonates with probably most of us. Yeah, thank you, Cheddars.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Do we have anyone else who would like to share? So people can't get up on the stage. Is that what I'm understanding? So we can chuck these down so that people can see them. And when you find okay, and then when you find one that resonates with you that you would like to talk about, just come right up. I know you can't get onto the stage.
Yeah, I can as well.
But it's a small space, so even if you just came right up here to the center, everyone will still be able to help you or hear you. I'm sorry. Did we get them all? Almost. One more.
Oh, here, something.
There we go.
There you go.
Well, I want that one get off the stage.
There
I tried to get it off the stage like 3 times. I know. Now I feel like I need to see what it was. I think it was this one. Oh, yeah, that's not great. Stealing from a friend's home. This is the one I think that didn't want to get off the stage.
That one's a bit obvious.
Basically,
yeah, that one's a bit obvious for sure. Being happy for others. Ooh, this is actually a really good one. This is a good one. This heart. I like this heart. Because this is a really good example of God's love. Being happy for others who have something you want. Yeah? How often? Because loving is not even necessarily saying or doing a thing. Loving is in your heart. So if you find yourself getting jealous, which is contrary to God's love, on a regular basis, seeing other people and getting frustrated, instead of being actually really joyful and glad that they have this thing that maybe you can't have, is a great example of love.
I made a decoration. I didn't realize it was solid.
I went through the floor.
Yeah. I accidentally pushed one through the floor.
No.
Uh-oh, with the heart. He's squishing.
No, with the strawberry. I thought it was decoration, but it was.
On your head, right?
Oh, with the strawberry in your hand.
The strawberry's dangerous.
Strawberry on your head.
Yeah, okay. Watch out for those strawberries. Ooh.
Yeah, that's how it's
It's fine now.
This is good.
I thought it was a box.
Yeah. No, it's a strawberry.
Clovis, you have something to share?
Yeah, so I put it on my head.
No, I don't think I do.
Did you see me?
No?
Nah.
No? Okay. Because somebody disappeared before me. That's how we joined the room again.
Yeah, well, it really takes some self-reflection.
Yeah, she
some,
gave me a strawberry. I went straight
deliberate,
for the floor.
deliberate time looking inside at our lives to identify some of the things that we're doing. Alice gave me this one, which is really good. Always assuming the best in people, even if they have let you down in the past. Like, this is something that at least most of us have a problem with sometimes, is that we lose hope, where love always never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful. We tend to lose hope in people who have let us down before, especially if they've let us down a few times. You have one to share, Simeon? Yeah? Yay! Hop on up, Simeon.
She changed it from environmental to decorational.
No, it's just it needs to be
Oh.
to your head. Or maybe you're right.
Yeah,
Oh,
she changed it from
and you do it.
environmental to decorational.
Oh. Okay,
If I'm
remind
playing,
me
it
not to
makes
ask
them
you.
happy and.
But it's hard for you. Yeah, sometimes you do it even though you really don't want to, and other times you don't, and it makes them upset. And yeah, that's a really good example. Thank you, Simeon. I love that. It's like me and my messaging. I don't do it because I don't like to. Yeah. A little bit.
This one here I
You
just
have
find
one?
interesting because I didn't know there was a word for this.
We learned it from
German word,
Bisnick, Pastor Bisnick.
Yeah, there's a word apparently for what was this? Finding joy in the suffering of others. So. Yeah.
Oh, you don't have this word in English?
No.
You know the word?
Well, yeah. We use it. Yeah, we use it all the time.
Yeah. How do you pronounce it?
Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
I mean, that's more specific than just being a jerk. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little more specific. And the fact that, like, it's common enough that there's a word for it, that it's like, and not only is there a word for it, but Simeon says they use the word all the time.
Yeah. Only Germans are doing this. Like, only Germans are finding joy.
Yeah.
Alina, I am afraid they use the word all the time because they have a word to be using.
True. Like Phantom says, we have a more broader term, like they're being a jerk.
We just use the definition exactly, but we talk about that all the time as well.
Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. You're right.
I don't think there is more Schadenfreude in Germany.
No, the action of it. Yes. I don't think there's more
of that.
Happening. Yeah, exactly. The word said more often for sure, but what's happening is What you got
Yeah,
there?
you already kind of went over this one, but this is tough. You know, being envious of other people's lives because there's so much variance in how everyone's lives are across the world. Like you can be in one spot and think, oh, there's all these people above me, and I must be doing something wrong, and you know, it's just not working out for me. I'm envious of that. But then there's obviously all these people, you know, who weren't as lucky as you down here or whatever, or off to the side or wherever. They're just so many different things, and you're better off not trying to compare yourself to other people because you're just going to be unhappy. Either way you go.
Either way you go. That is a great example. And it's easy for us to see, way easier for us to see the people who seem to have it all than it is for us to remember and see the people who have it so, like, when I say so much worse, that doesn't do it justice. Like, so much worse than anybody standing here in this room. Yeah, very, very sad. Thank you for bringing that to us. Yeah. Anyone else? Faison, would you like to share the heart you have? You don't have to, but if you'd like. Or Lolita? No,
No.
it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Anyone else? Or any questions? Maybe you have a question about... Yes.
I can do my heart.
I'd love that. Thank you so much for participating.
Do I read what it says first?
Sure, please.
It says, no matter how bad you are treated, you respond within the confines of love. It's really hard for me because I dealt with trauma my whole life, so that's a...
I'm sorry, yeah.
I'm working on it.
Oh, that's so wonderful. That's what matters, really. We're imperfect, so we're going to be imperfect, period. But the fact that you recognize it and are working on it is tremendous, because there really is little more difficult. Like, this is one of the hardest things we could do, is to respond in love when other people are hurting us. It's just like this knee-jerk reaction for us to want to hurt them back. It just is. I'm very proud of you for doing that, and way proud of you for sharing it with us. Thank you. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Not awesome that you know what I'm saying. Not
Yeah.
awesome that you need to,
Yeah.
but that you share. Yeah. What you got over there, Phantom?
Well, this one here was empathizing with those who are suffering. I know is true, but I admit I don't fully understand it. Like, how does me being unhappy with you help you be, you know, someone else who's unhappy? Like, how does empathy actually help anyone? Is what I have a hard time with. I mean, I try to do it, but I admit I don't understand it.
So I think I might have like this is my understanding of how it's helpful. So if you can't like understand, if you can't be with them in their suffering, it's very easy for us to glide right over it, because we don't even realize that they're really suffering. We think nothing of it, because one person's suffering may seem or sound inconsequential to you. Somebody said something bad thing about me. I'd be like, whatever, people are going to say bad things about me and I'll be on my way. But if another person says, oh my gosh, and so-and-so said this, and they're really distraught, if we can't be there with them, we'll glide right over it and not be able to help them when they really are distraught. Yeah. I don't know if anybody else has like input into that, because it's a good question. Ooh, yes. Would you like to tell us? Would you like to tell us? Let me give you your heart. Oh, good catch. She moves around a lot, huh, Aaron? Kind of hard to get her in the focus. Okay, stand still.
You're muted if you're talking.
Mm.
Thank you.
That's
This
it,
is
I was
willing.
wondering.
This is willing to be uncomfortable while you wait, which is sort of close to the definition of patience, which is part of love, because what patience kind of means long suffering, and to suffer long with someone. It's sort of the same word. That's why
I love that you
that's
brought
kind of
that up.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
You
can
actually
explain
are the
them,
one.
Pastor.
You did this. No, I don't need to explain. You go on explaining. I was just going to say that you are the one that created that heart. And so you're the one who should be explaining it. Just saying.
What? Just does that explain it?
No, it does. It does.
Does-
Long suffering, because it's hard to be patient,
Mhm.
because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
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 And who
Supposed
likes to be uncomfortable? Exactly.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, you're not being selfish. It's the opposite of selfish to be patient. Because you're...
Yeah. Exactly. Because, yes, Jenna,
Yeah,
are you going to try?
strawberries.
Oh,
No,
thank
no,
you. Can I eat it?
Yeah.
Okay, they don't disappear. But I have heard you could use them to squish people onto the map. But don't do that, please, because it is a little disruptive.
No, with
Sorry,
the
Pam.
square ones you can. With these ones you
Uh,
can't.
Oh, okay, because this passes through you. Yeah, okay. Good to know. All right. So that's actually on time. So we can close in prayer. I know I can close in prayer unless someone else feels moved to do so, because we always love that too. I know Zeke's not here today. All right, Death Racer. Oh my God, that's fabulous, Death Racer. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if my voice is on mute for the thing or whatever. Okay, let's see. Gotta make sure I'm on right angle because you guys see it differently. Alright. Dear Father Lord, we want to thank you for our plus time here today. We want to thank you for having all these lovely people come out here from all their different backgrounds and lifestyles that just come together, unite. We all come together in a space and make a place of holiness, a place of spiritness, and a place of true love and passion. Father God, we also want to bless our hearts because of all of our mothers out there today. We bless them for what they've done for us, especially with how much they've done through our lives. And finally, let's get out of the park here, but for anybody who's having good weather, we want to bless that too, because trust me when I say having good weather is always a good thing. So bless that, bless all of us here today, and bless all those mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day to all of them. In Father's name we pray, amen.